Hey everybody, it's been a long time since I vlogged, well 4 days. I was out of town. I took a little mini vacation down to Florida. An old friend of mine was gracious enough to invite me down to his place on the Intracoastals. If you don't know what an intercoastal is, it's basically, I don't know if I would call them rivers, but it's basically all these canals, if you will, that are connected to the ocean, but they're separated from the ocean. So in South Florida, there's this network of all these canals. These are not man-made, these are naturally occurring. And as a result of these canals, you have, it's all salt water, and you have all these people with houses and condos right on these canals, and there's this big boating culture. So you can go to restaurants right on the canal, they're called intercoastals, right on these intercoastals. You dock right at the restaurant. Even some restaurants will serve you food. It's very relaxing because where my buddy lives is in a place called Hallandale. It's just north of Miami. And so you have the best of both worlds there, I find, where you have the feeling where you are in the tropics, palm trees everywhere. It's you can easily get to quiet places in the intercoastals and find beaches that are not so populated. Or if you want some action, you can pretty quickly get down to Miami, South Beach, dock there. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so with this vlog, I just want to quickly talk about the grind in business and in software development. And they go hand in hand in the sense that when you're approaching any project, any job, especially business or learning something new, like learning how to code, you have to understand that there are going to be points where you're going to have to grind it through, where it's not going to be the most pleasant thing necessarily. And that's just part of the process. And so let me just jump into business for a second. The grind in business is huge. It's huge. Because when you first start a business, it's exciting at first, new ideas, you're launching a product, and then you get it out there, and then there's this grind to make it work. It's like walking through 3 feet of snow, you know. Or if you're not from a cold climate, it's like walking in the ocean in 3 feet of water, and you're slogging through it. It's slow and it's difficult. And as such, when people tell you, when you hear that you better really, they say passionate about your business. Well, maybe passion is too strong of a word perhaps, but you have to really like what you do. You have to be enthusiastic about what you do. It has to be fun, because if it's not fun, and when you hit that inevitable wall, that slog, that grind that you're going to have to do, count on it, unless you're really lucky, you're not going to want to do it. And if you're not willing to grind and push through those moments, you won't succeed. So you have to be sure that you're approaching something that you like to do. So if you're an aspiring coder and coding fascinates you, fantastic. Now, for young people out there, don't think that you're going to make any huge mistakes by learning this language versus that language. Oh, should I learn Java? Should I learn Python? Should I learn Node and JavaScript? That's not such a huge issue. I'm going to tie this back to the original idea here soon. You know, because all these languages share many of the same characteristics. So if you decide to, for example, learn Python, and then you decide, well, for the type of work I want to do, actually I want to get into JavaScript Node, it's not like you waste your time with Python. Everything that you learned in Python will be applicable, well, 98% to Node, so you won't be wasting your time. So when it comes to learning to code and learning technology, one of the things that I suggest to people, and I know to be the case, is that understanding the basics of these technologies is essential, I would say, for any entrepreneur. Even if you're not getting into tech, even if you're getting into travel tourism, you're getting into selling some arts and crafts that you do, understanding at least the basics of coding, and my suggestion would be the web stack first. That's HTML, CSS, some JavaScript, and then you can take it from there depending on what you want to do. Understanding these basic technologies is like having a tool belt that you can get to at any time. Even if you're not going to be writing the code yourself, being able to understand it, being able to communicate with professional developers is such a valuable tool set to have. And so, going back to the grind, what you'll see in a small business, having a web presence and leveraging technology is essential. So having these basic coding skills comes to that, and it's going to help you. I'll tell you, it's going to help you many times in those grinding periods where you're working on the marketing, where you're trying to tweak your website and you're just trying to get things right, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm a big advocate that everybody should learn to code because it's been so useful to me in my life since I started coding in the early 90s. 94 is, I believe, when I wrote my first web page. So it's such an important skill. It's, for me, reading, writing, your first language, math, and code. These are 4 pillars of anybody should have under their belt in this day and age. So there you go. That's it. How are we doing? So to close off this video, remember that there's going to be a grinding period, whether you're learning a new technology or a new skill set, or whether you're starting a business and being an entrepreneur. It's going to be a grind period at some point. As such, jump into something that is fun for you, interesting for you intellectually. I think perhaps, depending on how many people watch this video and comment on this video, I can start doing videos on some tricks to handle the emotional pressures that learning something new and starting and running and building a business can bring onto you. And that's very useful. All right, ciao, ciao.